Don't read our minds. Let's ask the magic eight ball.
All right. Do you have a question for it?
Who has
Magic
a
eight
question for
ball.
the magic eight ball?
Magic eight ball. Are we going to have an amazing night tonight? We already know the answer.
It says, oh, without a doubt.
Did it really say that?
It does. It says, I
Right.
wish I could, make it,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it
It's
said
Oh, you
without a
have
doubt.
one.
yeah.
I said, who's got the 8 ball? Okay.
Well, I
Well,
am
I
not
used to
surprised at all.
diagnose learning disabilities. One of my friends gave this.
I was going to
She's
say,
like, here's how you're
I,
going to decide.
I thought you were going to say, I
Right.
used to use this when I diagnosed learning disabilities.
No, that's what she
Thinking,
said.
wow,
It was a
that's a
joke.
professional
She was a
tool.
joke. She's
Yeah,
like,
man.
use
Mm.
that. Yeah.
Well, I'm flying in tonight because we have the great joy of me. I run a library online writing group at 6:30 and we finish at 6:30. So we're going to be on time tonight. And a few of you are joining me there, which I'm excited about. And we have such fun stories in that one too. So that'll be great. So this time we're doing extended metaphor and imitation. And the reason I add extended metaphor in there is that imitation makes sense. And I don't feel like we have to practice that as much. You I have this really fun thing I did with a Janet Fitch workshop that happened during the COVID era, and I would gladly share that with you all as a technique where she shows you how to break down sentences, and I reached out to her and made sure it was okay to share it. And I You break down sentences and see how they're working, and then how it lets you use your original work to try their patterns without directly using their language. So if you want to see that, just let me know and I can put it up in Discord or somewhere else. Okay, so onward hope. For your writing for your sensory memory today, um, I want you to try a couple of the little things that we do. Write without lifting your pen. If you choose the earliest memory or any of them, write without periods, or think about how a smell can be an extended metaphor, like, cotton candy and county fairs. Man, that can be an extended metaphor for like that high school period of life for me, right? Um, Try again writing without periods, but find a memory of an emotion, like I described in the third one, or again, look for a taste that could be an extended metaphor. Anything that can help you get going for later in tonight. And I'll set a little timer and come back to you in just a couple minutes. All right, if you can do your best to come back. That was about 3 minutes because I was feeling wildly generous. You probably all were stuttering starting because I don't usually give you that long. So imitation is such a great way for us to reverse engineer the way that other authors are writing. So when we get in there, in order to imitate somebody, we have to understand what they're doing. And sometimes if it's difficult to understand, if we really don't quite understand how they're going about their process, doing something like word by word, changing it to your original words to find out how it resonates with you can expose for you what's at play, just because when it becomes your own words, you can sometimes make a discovery. And the other thing is that you don't have to perfectly understand what they're doing to come up with something new for yourself. So imitation can be so much fun. And especially if you enjoy maybe the rhythm of somebody's language or the way that they're using something like an extended metaphor, this can be a way to discover it. I told you my sad story last time, so just be careful. If you're trying out the imitation technique, be sure that you just go back over your work and take a look at it. I think, Lori, we put it all up, right? So it's really obvious how many verbs are shared between the two pieces that when I was doing the after Sarah Freely. And again, she was so generous about it because she's such a great human being. Okay, so uh, imitation can be just following the rules of a medium, like I have here. Adorably, it's quoted in this slide. I would have to go back to an early presentation to remember where I quoted it from. But as all the teachers on this site know, plagiarism is passing off somebody else's work as your own. And so certainly my intent with my piece wasn't to take these amazing verbs that Sarah Freely used and say, no, look at what a writer I am. But just you have to be careful that you don't accidentally use the direct techniques somebody else used. Instead, just make sure it's a learning process and something to create originality. And I think imitation, well, as I was saying in the beginning, it does heighten your awareness and it very much focuses you in on the why of the author's decisions. And again, what's lovely is that you can make a decision about why an author did something and you could be completely off base, but all that matters is that it's working for you. And I honestly think that imitation is one of the great ways to lead to originality because even with the very best writers, as you start to pick apart what you're doing, you can see your own way through it. You have your original voice, you have your own way of writing. And so as you pick out what they're doing, you'd say, oh, but I would do it this way, just because that's who you are and that's who your voice is. Um, so I think it's just a way of better understanding writing craft. And certainly that's my position as a writer and a teacher is I'm very focused on craft. Not everybody is, but I nerd out big time on, how does a certain use of figurative language create an impact, or what happens when you show in this place and then move to interiority. Like the mechanics of it are fascinating to me. And I don't know if that holds me back as an author or not, maybe. I couldn't resist putting an oyster picture up for an extended metaphor. It's very body of me, but there it is. So I'm suddenly we're in Georgia O'Keeffe land, and let's think about flowers. I don't know. Anyway, um, an extended metaphor is the same as a standard metaphor, but the idea is that it can be doing something bigger and it can be a vehicle. So um, the tenor is the initial concept in your piece. Like, say you start going with oysters and you are making a sexual innuendo, you're setting up a certain tone when you're picking a metaphor that people recognize. And so that tenor is something that happens. But the vehicle of comparison, I don't know if you want to compare the way that, seas are becoming a wasteland because of climate change, and you can compare that to menopause and suddenly get published in Hot Flash. I don't know. But that's the idea that you set up the tenor with the initial concept and then you move to the larger statement that your metaphor can make. Oysters is probably a weak one, but it is an example that came to mind for me. So I love these examples of extended metaphor. Like a book is a conversation with somebody you've likely never met, or possibly lived hundreds of thousands of years before you. And I don't know why that was so profound to me the first time I heard it, but I just hadn't really thought of the way that I'm having a conversation with Willa Cather when I read the Song of the Lark. And she died, before well, about the same time my mother was born, right? And so what an amazing concept. Their family gatherings are rock concerts, ours are symphonies. What amazing characterization you can do just with simple metaphors. My cat is a monster, and that he is. He has decided that there are mice in our shower, and whether he's right or wrong, he's a monster. And I'm coming to the end of the slides, and I use this one every time. This sloth in replacement of the girl with pearl earrings seems to me such a perfect visual example of what we're talking about with imitation. We all know which piece this sloth is painted after. We recognize the illusion very easily, and yet clearly it's not plagiarism. It's something original done with content we recognize. So as I keep cautioning you, because I embarrass myself so much, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't really allude to and join into another conversation if you use imitation. The um, Shakespeare references all the time, right? That is part of being a literary conversation. When you have a Romeo and Juliet, or if bring a Greek Sisyphus into our world, we all know that because that's the same conversation that's been moving through literature since those became popular pieces back in their time. So there's no harm in really engaging with a conversation that's well known out there as long as you're original. Um, Again, you're looking for techniques and ideas and methods. And if you try out your own prompt to initiate new stories, to imitate the stories, you might have something work out for you. But for the rest of this class tonight, we're definitely going to be working on extended metaphor. It's too hard to ask you to imitate directly in 6 minutes. So I just didn't want to do that. Okay, so we went through this pretty quickly. Questions or conversation or comments? I would love to hear a little bit how you feel about the concept of imitation. Have you used it before? Have you, tried on another writer's skin just to see if you fit in the space?
Would parody be considered the same? Because parody, you're like making a joke out of something, but it's clearly not plagiarism,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like it's at least a cousin to imitation, right? Because if it's not direct imitation, it is at least allusion and conversation with something that exists. Yeah, I like that, Lynn.
My
I don't
first
know.
novel was almost entire. Well, I don't know, but it was I did it on purpose to practice, and I tried to do Catcher in the Rye, but it was a girl, and she was obnoxious, like Holden Caulfield, and she ran away to Idaho instead of to the city. But and I knew I wasn't doing it for publication, but I wanted to see, can I write a novel? And then I just took my favorite one and I just took that. And I suppose we could say it's plagiarism because it is so much the same plot, but I knew that I was trying things, never intending to. It's in a drawer, a drawer.
Yeah. Although, so I can't even remember the name of this novel. It came out when I was married to somebody else, so it has to be at least 13, 14 years ago. It's got a barn on the cover, and it's a retelling of Hamlet, just the same way as Barbara Kingsolver's Demon Copperhead is a retelling of David Copperfield. So I don't know, Erica. I think you can get away with doing what you did by putting it in a new setting and making a new statement, especially if she went to Idaho. You can't get a whole lot more different than the city than Idaho.
I don't think anyone would recognize it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's also terrible and in a drawer.
Okay. Fair. Fair. But I would say that, especially with the big recognizable stories like that, there's a lot of room to get away with that kind of a comparison because it is a way of joining the conversation. Barbara Kingsolver did it absolutely on purpose, and nobody's going to tell her she shouldn't have, right? Dead authors are
Uh,
the safest ones to do that with. Jen,
um, is the imitation the the story or the style or the characters, or can it be any part of that? Because
yes.
My Desert Born is definitely was imitating originally Walter Farley's Black Stallion. I mean, that's really
Oh,
where that whole, I mean, it really plays to that. And I have the big race, somewhat
yeah.
similar. And is it plagiarism that I use that? Well, it's a commonality in that history of those
No.
people, but the way I wrote it is in his style with that, uh, grandiose, not grandiose, but highly descriptive, you
Yeah.
know, um, that old style of writing. I did that on purpose, but I think I was imitating him now that I
Yeah.
think about it.
And that kind of imitation is great. You're absolutely not plagiarizing. And it helps explain to me why I enjoy it so much because I was such a huge fan of the Black Stallion series. So that tells me something. But yeah, I think we're inspired all the time, right? In romance, I want to get some of the humor I see in Emily Henry. I want to get some of the poignancy I see in Catherine Center. So, there's authors we admire, and we just really do want to. I mean, I think they set us things to aspire to, and then hopefully on the way, like now that Erica's writing other novels, we learn something about ourselves and become better writers as we do it. And I think Jen, you feel that way about how as you're heading into high water, right?
Mm,
Yeah, I would think anyway.
yeah.
So next week is our ekphrastic inspiration, which is all about images. And you don't have to use photos and you don't have to use paintings. That's not a requirement for ekphrastic. We do in this class because it's just the easiest way to do it. But
Fun.
it is so fun. You could be inspired by, a statue you see. You could be inspired by anything that causes that artistic response in you. But the thing that we did that was so fun that we're going to keep doing in this class in the future is we just ask each other for photos. Lori had the most amazing photo that her dad took, and Melissa wrote this incredible flash off Trash Man. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
yeah. And so I sent an email and asked you to reply with some photos, and I will put all those up in Discord so that you have them to consider. But there's not a whole lot of writing prompt stuff going. Instead, I'll be saying, tell the story or have an artistic response to one of these photos, and I'll split them in half so that well, I don't have to do that. You just have to do two different ones. And so send me some photos that the one thing that I would ask that we learned from last time, like it was so great that Lori's dad wouldn't care if Melissa would submit that, but I'd love it if you had the rights to the photo so that if somebody writes something really great, they could submit it if you give them your permission to use your photo and submit it somewhere like the Ekphrastic Review. That way we're all set. If somebody does something brilliant, they don't have to worry about it being a copyrighted photo or something like that. Oh, it's not November 6th, though. I think it's March 12th.
It's March 12th. I have
It's
a
March
Yeah.
question. I want to say
next
something.
week. Yeah.
Yes, Elizabeth.
I just want to say the thing about the repetition that my next book is going to be. I've already kind of decided what kind of book it is, and so I'm studying authors that like. I want to write a mystery, and it kind of has dark and light in it. So I'm like, not only I'm like kind of studying Stephen King, and he did an amazing TV series with this, and then there's another one, this family saga that is set in Florida that's very dark, and it's really fun to see how they unfold the mysteries in these stories, and I guess I'm going to be imitating them clearly,
Great.
but
Great.
yeah, so I like studying other authors, but I don't know that I have them in mind when I'm writing, but I definitely study their styles.
And I think don't we all? We're all
Yeah,
big readers, and I don't think we can be writers without being big readers. I think we have to be paying attention to the way that people craft story just to get better at the way we craft our own. But some people are really natural born storytellers, and I genuinely am not, but I love the fact that you can learn to be a good storyteller. That has served me well, for sure. Okay, so we have a little bit longer readings this time just because I really liked them. I did the title thing again. I know we don't have to do that every time, but I just had so much fun with it last time. I apologize for that. And then I guess we are doing imitation, and I was talking about extended metaphor. We're doing imitation on the first one and extended metaphor on the second one. So I would love to have a volunteer to read for Nadim Silverman, and then Katie Coleman. She was the very first person in my cohort at the Bennington MFA that I spoke to even before we arrived for our MFA program. And she is hilariously, irreverently wonderful. So somebody great has to read that one because she's awesome. Of course, there was an A that says after the pregnancy test, but anyway. Who would like to read The Lovers Have to Know Everything? Thanks, Erica. But you're muted. Sorry. There you
Also,
go.
then I minimized myself so then I couldn't find myself. Okay. Lovers have to know everything. Annie waits in this motel at the end of a row of motels brimming, can sense the dirt on the sheets, can feel it on the tips of her fingers, and she wants to shine a black light to see the bed illuminated like a crime scene with its glowing splashes of purples and blues. Doesn't care about the grime because it's fitting for a place like this. And she likes being the cleanest, brightest thing in the room, and the light is just right, burning through the thin curtains, slashing lines of orange blush across the floor, and she knows she won't sleep a wink tonight. Greg won't let her. And she thinks about what she'll say after while they're still hiding under the covers because she's said the wrong thing every time before, has seen it in his eyes and his shoulders, that dimming full body disappointment that carries him out of bed and over to his duffel and the six pack inside. And when he cracks them open, two at a time, he drinks the froth first, which gentles him. And she's jealous of the beer because she would like to be the one to put his mood right and bring his heat down. And in Jody's court under the school bleachers, Jody has um, advised it's all about the hands, really. Long and dainty fingers are best. It makes them think about their mothers and the queen. Though Annie's pretty sure Jody's still uncracked, still whiffling in both body and mind. And anyways, Annie, not Jody, has the key and the fob to this motel room and will figure out on her own what she needs to say and do to keep him swimming happy in bed. So she drinks half a bottle of peppermint schnapps to work up some inspiration, and words fall, then puddle in her mind, words ripped from her SAT test book. The one Greg tells her to leave at home because he doesn't like thinking about her age, though she is convinced she is aging faster than the rest of the world and wonders, like an adult, what will happen to her parents if she agrees to leave with Greg. If all their whispered talk turns real. But before that can happen, Greg says he needs to know more about her. And lovers have to know everything. And he explains he shouldn't have to ask her to tell him what she's doing, even when she's in the shower at home. So she keeps her phone in a Ziploc bag that tries and fails to stay watertight, some droplets always slipping in, invading the cracks on the screen that she and Greg have made together, making blacks and blues, greens and reds that spread across the surface. Though the thing is, he doesn't really like to hear everything, particularly stories about her friends at school, which is pretty much all there is to say. Like how for the last 3 weeks, Jody's been trying to scrape the lice from her head, has bought expensive shampoo that comes out the bottle black, has gone to a Hasidic woman with a special fine-toothed comb, despite her father's suspicion of Jews and their lasers, but nothing works. And the little creepers keep coming back, and that especially would scare Greg, who hates bugs and worries they'll climb inside his ears while he's sleeping. So Annie keeps this and every other true story to herself, makes up anecdotes instead about things she's mostly too afraid to do, like riding without a helmet on the back of a stranger's motorcycle, or climbing the water tower by India Point in the dead of the night. And when she tries to reflect, tries to ask Greg the same question about where he came from and where he thinks he's going, he says nothing, just smiles in an unhappy sort of way, with potato skins and liquid wheat still on his breath, which is how he always smells because he barely brushes and never flosses, doesn't like to bleed. No one does, he says. But this can be forgiven, she thinks, considering all his better sides, the way he drives in the dark, sings sweetly with that country skip in the throat. Sorry, I had to scroll down. Skip in the throat. Someone kill me. Someone cue me. I can't find it.
It's like the third to the last
And
line on the
makes
page.
Flosses, doesn't like to bleed. No one does. He says, but this can be forgiven, she thinks, considering all his better sides, the way he drives in the dark, sings sweetly with that country skip in his throat, and almost never makes her wait. So it's strange that he's still not here, that the room is still just her own, and now Annie's hands are turning the motel linens into rags, anticipation crawling like ants under the skin. And she's counting the seconds, then minutes, and wondering if the worst has happened. Something on the road, or maybe an overspilling river, a landslide. But then the knob turns, her palms start sweating. The room seems suddenly so bright, not like the movies, because there are no candles, not even one. And there's no time to change into something else, something better, something perfect before he walks in.
And then we all take a big breath because, of course, that one of the imitations that we can do is practicing a breathless one sentence piece. And that's what this
Love
is,
it.
right?
Love it.
Yeah. So how's that experience work for you with the one sentence?
Well, it helps that Erica read it. So the comma, the way she read it, the commas carried the weight. So at first, when she started reading it, I didn't even notice there wasn't any punctuation. I just, because I didn't pre-read this, and I'm thinking it's the way you read it. It gave
Yeah.
me everything I needed. So it
Yeah.
was super duper that way. I love
Till
it.
I
I love
lost
rhyme.
us.
It was too
I'm
long.
like,
That's
someone
okay.
cue me. I cannot see.
It was too long. I'll be the first to admit that. So I think this is a particularly good show instead of tell piece. And what are some of the great moments of showing that happen in here that characterize well, she's not Jody, she's Annie. Characterize Annie, characterize her life, and we know exactly what this relationship is, though we're never told it. So, like, so what are some of the facts that we know, and what are some of the things that we love in this piece?
I love that she drank peppermint schnapps to calm her nerves like she's young, you know?
Yeah,
Half a bottle.
yeah.
She has no idea what that's going to do to her. You know.
Yeah.
I was surprised she was
Woo.
still awake when the doorknob
Yeah.
turned.
Well, and she has to be perfect, but he's really far from perfect.
Oh
He
my
clearly
God.
just doesn't care, right?
Right. Which,
Well,
of
he's
course, stereotypically we understand in an older man seeking out a younger woman, an exceptionally younger, like a high school age woman, is for this purpose, right? The ability to
I love
control
his.
them.
Greg says he needs to know more about her, and lovers have to know everything. I can just hear him talk, talking her into whatever. It's just creepy, so creepy.
And then following that, the phone, like she's trying to protect it has to come in the shower with her and she's trying to protect it with the cover, but it just keeps seeping in, that whole metaphor of it. She can't protect any part of herself from him. So
Yeah.
good.
Especially because it is his controlling nature, right? I mean, she should be able to take a 15-minute shower and not respond to him, and she can't, right? Yeah. So when we have the impulse, I was thinking about this today from another piece I was reading because it's a grading time. We have the impulse because we're writers, we're inside our own heads so much that we want to write from inside our characters' heads because that's a natural place for us to be. I mean, that's where we are. And even though we're inside Annie's head in this piece, I feel like we're moving through too many details and actions for it to feel like interiority. Instead, it's sort of like the outward narration of you know, black lighting the bed, being under the bleachers with Jody, Hasidic lasers. We know what kind of father that she has, or well, Jews and their lasers, Hasidic women, right? So, or that Jody has. So, I think this is a great piece for us just to be reminded anytime we want to say she knew, she thought, she whatever. Instead, let's think about how this one demonstrates how we should be showing what our characters are doing instead of telling. And those actions will tell the story for us, and we have to trust that they will. Yeah. Such a good piece.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm talking. I don't
You
know if I
are.
can be.
You are
Oh,
talking.
okay. Sorry, I can't see myself. This reminds me of a totally just like a stream of consciousness anxiety attack.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like, all of the details in the mind just going on and, counting and quivering, and it's just like, oh my God, this poor woman. At first, I thought it was, at first I thought she was a prostitute,
Mm,
and that she was talking about a bunch of different um, guys or something,
hmm.
like this was her lair. But yeah, it's just, there's so much anxiety in this piece for me, at least.
Yeah, and I think that we understand that Annie knows she's not supposed to be doing that, and that shows up when she says what would happen if she did go away with him, and would it be what her parents whispered about, right? So we understand the source of that anxiety too, and all of it never gets said to us. We just know it from what we've been shown, and it's so incredible. So for writing, which is what we'll move to now. You don't have to work from the titles. I did write this just saying I recommend you try doing a breathless sentence. So anytime you would want to put a period in your sentence, put a comma or a semicolon or something, just embrace improper punctuation is really what a breathless sentence story is about. Because all of this could have been punctuated with periods if we had chosen to, right? So in this, you could take something from your sensory memories, or you could simply write down an action and follow it. So those are the two ways that you could get into this without using any of the random titles. But if working with random titles were fun for you, I added waiting for a fair catch at ground zero, which is something we used to say all the time when we were standing at NORAD, because that was supposed to be one of the first places that a nuclear bomb would hit if somebody bombed America. So you just stand at ground zero and wait for a fair catch. Um, After he squatted on a cactus, because once I was hiking and I did this very thing, and then I was
Oh,
knitting,
wow.
so weaving weft and warp. So if you like working with a title, do that, but otherwise just work from a sensory memory, or take to an action and follow it. And I'll give you 6 minutes to work on this, and we'll find out how this breathlessness works for you. Good luck. You have about a minute left. All right, everybody, do your best to wrap things up. I know that was a quick 6 minutes. I hope it went great. Are you feeling breathless? Well, did anybody get anything that you're excited to share with the group? Lise? Great. Oh, Lise got her hand up first, but I bet you should call on Jen after her.
I'm not excited. I'm just trying to get this over with because I don't know what I did here.
Okay,
just
fair.
let's see what shit this is. Okay. Um, Loneliness begins with math, she decided the night she sat on her balcony and began to count first the number of residential buildings she could see from her own, 51, and then worked out which sides of each building she could see or that could see her, and then how many apartments might be on each floor, then how many apartments per building that added up to, then did the statistical math, I guess, of how many apartments might contain two people, how many only one, and when she came up with a total that bested the capacity of the city's largest arena, Emily had asked her if she was high while she did it, and why would she do that, and what sense did it make? And it took her back to sitting there that night, thinking of Felix Baumgartner and how many dollars it took to make the suit he was terrified of, 200,000, how many feet he jumped from, 120,000, 7,852, how many people were plugged into his earpiece as he made the decision to walk out of the capsule, let's say 47, and how many minutes of pure, terrifyingly joyful aloneness he fell through as he plummeted to the earth, about 10, and how this could lead to a provable equation of loneliness if she had a blackboard and maybe 11 mathematicians, or would that be statisticians? She didn't have the background to know, but probably she could make some calls. And what about those ships in the ocean that repair the oil rigs, all 12,000 of them, with their network of pipes on the ocean floor and the teams of only 4 men pressurized all to hell, living in 40-foot square cubes for 30 days to repair tiny holes 40,000 feet under the surface? And Felix did jump, and those men do descend, but she simply counted how many people could see her body if it lay dead on her balcony for 2 days, but then she went inside and watched TV.
Oh,
What do we
Don't
love?
know.
Everything.
you are never allowed to put down your work. It is always so amazing.
Yeah, we'll be the judge of that for sure.
Yeah, that was vivid, so vivid.
Amazingly, so it was breathless, but also I felt like it was a bit of a hermit crab to use a living math problem. So, like, I mean, obviously you can combine these things, and I thought that worked really well together, especially because the math doesn't have to add up. And of course it doesn't, because she's trying to make a proof for loneliness, which is lovely because it's not going to add up, but we believe in it. I believed in it, whatever. I'm talking a lot. Y'all, what do you think?
I love that. I keep feeling I'm learning more and more about this balcony and what can be
Yes.
seen from it.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's like it's kind of like a painting of the same, it's like each time it's another very comprehensive painting or detailed photograph or whatever of this almost a very similar skyline, and I feel like you keep I mean, I'm just making this up, but it feels like you keep revisiting it so to try to further understand it, and look at it in all these different ways. And I really like that.
I had the same thought, and not that we need to psychoanalyze you, but I was like, here's another thing with the falling. And so I love it. And I mean that as the highest compliment because there's the planes and the buildings, and I love the concrete imagery, and I see everything that you say. So I hope it's coming across as a compliment, but I had the same connection that Elizabeth had.
Yeah, me too. I hope we all do.
I love the mathematician angle too, that this person like thinks in math and everything, and then mathematician, or is it a statistician? I can't, it's like just how that mind would work. I just loved it.
And that it's something beyond math, right? I mean, obviously finding a proof for loneliness. Talk about an extended metaphor. Yeah. Yeah. A thing that I said in the chat just now is this Lisa's like, I'm not saying Lisa, your balcony could be your novella in Flash, particularly the location of the apartment, because with Erica's comment on falling, and if we could have the character of you, sorry that you got hit by a car, but now we're taking advantage of life things, falling from being hit by the car at the base of that apartment, whether you do or not. I mean, because it's fiction in a novella in Flash, you can use this sort of apartment building bubble to tell us about the world. I mean, that's what I felt like both Elizabeth and Erica were saying, was that we are looking at real worldly things. Like there's existential questions happening here in the same location, but it changes what we're studying. It's really exciting. I think you should write it.
I didn't actually like, this is interesting because I didn't consciously realize that I keep going back to, like, I know that seems crazy, but or like the plane fall, like I didn't know. So I don't know, maybe I'll expand more on that in the second piece tonight. We'll see.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, and it is true. Like I spend so much of my life sitting here looking at this hillside. What an exciting way you're taking a view that is your daily existence and turning it into a way of seeing the entire world. I don't know that I've witnessed somebody do that in the same way. I cannot help you. Somebody down here wants help. Oh goodness. Wonderful. We're going to clap. We're going to pick the next person, and the one I can't help is going to get shoved out the door. Well, I can hear you all though, so keep going.
Okay, I mean, it has to be Jen.
Okay.
A frog in my throat. Ugh. Okay. The paper, the ink, the pen are ready, and I close my mind, and the words begin swirling like silver fish in the sea, and they slide down an invisible tether to my pen. One by one, they are born, dripping blood of blue or black or red, and letter by letter, they are bound to the page. But it's not enough, and I wait, but nothing, and I try again, opening my mind, praying, and the words appear again, jostling for position, swimming down the tether once more, letter by letter, again bleeding onto the page, following destiny's path while I chant the writer's universal prayer as I witness their birth. Please let these be the ones. And then they stop, and I panic, and my stomach rolls, and my heart races, and I wait again, I wait, and again, nothing. But I've disturbed the muse, and more words are forming faster and faster, now fighting for position, eager to be caught, and I try to hold them back, but they fill my pen, and their birth is so messy. My hand moves too quickly, and a tsunami wave of words spill and race across the page, filling my heart, filling my soul. And I think, yes, this is complete. This is good. This is exactly what I intended, until I read it back and discover I once again jumped the gun, which has gone off, and the bullet I'll call editor has slain me. Maxie Janes wields the gun that brings me down.
You
Well
sound You make me sound so cruel.
Oh no, no. The truth hurts, honey. The truth hurts. It's good. I was Lori took a look at my book that you didn't edit that Mary Ellen did for me, the third one that just went in. And it's been through ProWrite, it's been through Inkbloom, it's been through my edit, it's been through Mary Ellen's edit. And Lori caught 18 obvious errors.
Tiny, like missing
No,
PO
missing
or something.
words. Come on, missing
Very small
misspelled
words.
words. It was weird. It was wonderful. So
Lori's
yeah, you
quite
think you're so
good.
good, and then
I think Lori should be considering a career in freelance editing. For real.
absolutely, absolutely, she was brilliant.
Brilliant.
Okay, so brilliant,
We're not
brilliant.
going past you yet. We haven't talked about you yet. So
No,
everyone,
exactly. We loved everything.
You thought you
thank
could
you.
distract
Everything.
us.
I didn't even
Done.
get the chance to do everything. Thank you.
Moving on.
What I wanted to point towards, and maybe y'all want to talk about it a bit, is birth is so messy. And I felt in that moment, and I've never had children, but that sense that must come when people have children and it's bloody and awful and they fall in love. And that feels, even if an editor shows up and has to wipe the blood off your child like a doctor does, right? You still have
Right,
birthed something beautiful. And that's
right,
what I was
right.
feeling in that moment.
Yeah, it's just, I think, who does it really look like, him or me? I've never had a child either, so I can't imagine, although I've birthed many puppies and horses and kittens, not personally, but assisted. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Any other thoughts from the rest of the group?
I loved how it went
I
up and down. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'll go after you. Go ahead.
That was just how it went up and down. Like, oh yes, you know this is good, and then no, and you jump the gun, and it was so real. You're catching your breath, and we're cheering for you.
Yeah.
and it's just such a ride. And I have yet to have writer's block, although I did go one week where I panicked because I couldn't step to the next chapter for some reason. I just couldn't get it, and it really scared me. But it's like that, you just it comes, and then you go shit, and then I don't have anything for and then it starts over again, So I just wanted that roller coaster effect, kind of.
Elizabeth, you wanted to add something?
I don't know if I remember what I was going to add, but maybe it was that it's like the way you pay attention to the way you're writing is so interesting because it's like it's almost like I want to go stop that. It's like don't do that. It's like because it's like you're holding you, at the end you say you jump the gun, but then at the beginning I was married to a jockey, so this is an analogy to taking off. It's like it's like you're in the gate, and you're about to take off, but you're holding yourself back, and just like it was just a really vivid, once again I'm using the word vivid, portrait of a writer explaining herself, I should say.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean you can't birth something if you don't write it. So I'm with you, Elizabeth.
Well,
Run the
true.
race. Run the race.
Sometimes I write so fast I can't even read it later. And y'all, I notice in Flash we do this a lot, but when it starts really flowing, you can't get it out fast enough.
Right.
Sometimes because I'm afraid I'm going to lose it. It's there in my mind, and if I don't, and then sometimes I do, I lose the thread, and I go, it's horrible, horrible feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were writing to the choir for sure. Who in
Yeah.
your choir would you like to have follow you?
Who's ready? Raise a hand.
So good job, Jen.
To just pick some. Thank you. Who wants to go? Raise a hand.
Danny's hand is raised.
Go, Danny. Oh, there's Danny.
Hello.
Little hand.
little tiny hand. I picked one of your titles.
Oh, good.
Waving for a fair catch at ground zero. And I do want to warn you, Max, just in case a very literal interpretation of your title will affect you.
Okay.
It's so empty, but not empty in the way of physically, at least not anymore, but empty in the way of emotionally, as if the giant buildings that once stood here took everyone's spirit with them when they left. Even though the last time I saw them, they weren't fully gone, not really, because our eighth grade class trip, which was in 2003, so you can bet that was surreal, was right to the heart of the Big Apple, including getting to see a Broadway show, which was really cool to me because we were seeing Beauty and the Beast when Christy Carlson Romano played Belle, even if I always felt a little bit silly for being so excited about her because a lot of the kids thought that we were too old for Disney Channel, and even Stevens was secretly one of my favorite shows, but I never let anyone know. So I tried really hard not to be too emotional during the show, which of course failed because I'm an overly emotional person anyway, which is exactly why I cried the first time I saw the caged walls around the place where it all happened. I just couldn't help it, even if the other kids didn't understand, because I was told that I was sensitive. And I don't know if they meant it as a bad thing, but I never really felt that way, except for the times that people tried to act like I was some kind of baby, just because I feel how sad it is to be alive in this timeline. Even today, when the things that I see every day when I open my phone, which is why even the sight of my phone gives me anxiety, especially when there's no way to escape all of the politics, when my very identity started to become broken down into yeses and nos, reds and blues, and percentages, which sometimes makes me wonder how the 94% of people who are happy with their ability and access to transitioning are somehow less important and less valid than the less than 3% of people who regret it. And I find myself reaching to the sky towards warmth, whose feeling I've forgotten in the cold, heartless age of AI and bigotry, waving my arm now as if trying to signal some kind of rescue plane as I fantasize about one actually taking me away from this place, but instead I find myself still standing at the foot of the 9/11 memorial, and I slowly and awkwardly lower my arm while embarrassment joins the anger in the flush that colors my cheeks as I curse myself for expecting any kind of fairness for someone like me in an America like this.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, that is amazing.
What do we love?
Everything.
Everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
now you can hear me. All of that.
All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about. Yeah. You did this in 6 minutes?
I
That was so.
finished the lower my arm part while the first person was reading, but I got the rest of it out in 6 minutes.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love that I completely forgot how it started. I was so in everything that you were saying and feeling all the feelings that I actually at one point was like, oh, which prompt did you choose? So I love that you took me on a beautiful journey away from this thing and then brought us so artfully back.
Hmm.
Yeah, I felt like there were these kind of like two, there was a zooming out and a zooming in that was happening because we started with place and we zoomed out into everything that everything that all of us are seeing every day while we're dialing into your identity, and the fact that you can connect like trans identity to standing in this place and also to the overwhelming everything that's happening right now. It just felt like this like whirlwind that came back to where it started, but you're different when you get to the end,
Yeah.
if that any of that made sense.
I feel like you start as a child and you end as an adult, and in the end, there's so much profound truth in this that I forget all about your identity. No, no, not to be rude about that. I'm just saying that we are all the same, really.
Hmm.
And that's what I
Hmm.
felt out of that. You had the same experiences, we all had the same experiences, a lot of the same experiences, enough to keep us together. But I start out feeling like a child, and then we have that last moment where you're an adult, really, and what you're feeling and seeing and understanding. So I loved it. Did that make sense?
Well, I didn't.
Yeah, I,
Everyone's sitting
I,
here like,
No, I didn't want to jump on top of you, but and I don't want
no.
to be offensive when I say exactly. I mean, yes, of course, like trans identity is so important, but that didn't end up being what this was necessarily about. It was about a bigger thing being we should be allowed to be who we are. An amazing argument for the 94% of happy people with transitioning and the fewer than 3% who regret it, right? I mean, we understand this, and yet that is an absolute truth that's part of a bigger, profound truth, is what I hear Jen saying. And I agree with it completely. Like, because I was right there, you know, as crazy normal as I am, I felt everything that you were feeling.
Yeah, I felt that the emotional truth of your story was something that everyone can identify whether or not they're having the experience that you had. You reached a depth of profound realization of what we're all going through at this time. So it resonates with everybody. We're all just like reeling. I mean, in my opinion, I am reeling from what's going on, and you just really captured it brilliantly.
Yeah.
I was in class last night with Leanne. I do her book writing class that's on Wednesday nights, and she told us a little bit about some stuff that's going on with her. And I just left the class feeling so angry for her. And I've been angry about it all day. And I told my mom, I was like, I don't know what these prompts are going to be tonight, but my anger is going to come in here somewhere. And here we are.
Here we are. It works. The tough thing is that strong emotions really work in Flash. So I want to just say a big bravo, Danny. That was awesome.
Bravo.
That was awesome. Another clap.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do we have any volunteers, or are we making Danny pick somebody? Pick away.
Lori,
Okay.
because I'm 98% certain I'll chuckle at something.
Nice. Yes.
It's just that Todd just came in and he's filling stuff with ice, so maybe I should skip one because can you hear him? Or
Nope.
can you hear me read?
Can't
you
Oh, okay.
sound
Then I'll
perfect,
read
yeah.
away. Okay. If Anna had a fault, it was that she loved too hard, falling deeply, madly, head over Jimmy Choo stiletto heels in love with everything and everyone. So when she saw the 1840s Victorian with the manicured gardens, she knew it was the house for her, like she had known George was the man for her, even if he did look like he had been born the year the house was built. But she loved the house with its oversized lot, like she loved George with his oversized bank account. And she loved the dwarf peach trees that came up to her nose, like the top of George's head, so he always seemed to be looking at her neck instead of her eyes. But that was okay because he adorned her neck with a diamond choker that shone like 1,000 stars, like the Hollywood stars Anna used to date, but she gave them all up for George with his dwarf peach tree height and baroque body and overflowing bank account because it was love, true love. And when they moved into the house and she saw the antique floral wallpaper she had loved so passionately was peeling at the edges like George's scalp, and the fine old pine floors were yellowing like George's fingernails and pockmarked like his face, she didn't mind because she loved the house and she loved George. But what if the house was too old and was ready to fall down and maybe hurt or even kill someone? Then wouldn't it be her responsibility, her duty even, to keep that from happening, to demolish the house and keep George safe because she loved him, really loved him? And vows were vows, but loopholes were loopholes, and Anna didn't need an attorney to tell her that till death do us part was a loophole big enough to drive a tank through.
What do we love?
Vows were vows, but loopholes were loopholes. Made me laugh out loud.
Big enough to drive a tank.
It was love. It was all love.
You have such a gift.
What do we think about that extended metaphor with the house and George?
Oh, perfectly done. Perfectly done.
And I didn't know how you were going to go there. Like, we had the dwarf peach trees. I'm like, oh my God, this is so funny because the house is big, the George is small. And then when the peeling wallpaper, I was just like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And it was so satisfying. Like, we know it's coming, but we were right there for the ride. Sorry,
Yeah,
I keep
it's magical. No, it's
It is.
magical.
It's magical.
Very magical. Yeah, just delightful.
And I know that,
George,
Lori,
I
you
really
like,
want to meet this guy.
yeah.
Sorry.
Just that Lori likes to poo-poo this, but I hope all of us would agree and point towards Lori and make her feel uncomfortable that this is a talent to be able to come up with this kind of humor. Not everybody can do it. And
That's right.
I I just can't emphasize enough that you're doing something special here, even though you feel weird
Yeah,
about it, and I just made you feel squidgy.
I'm
Sorry.
uncomfortable. Yeah. I picked
Sorry.
Erica. You go next.
Okay.
Okay. You hold the axe in your right hand and head toward the old tree stump, sliced flat table like on the grassy earth, your boots the color of the weapon's handle. And there are Gary and Ronnie, each with a chicken held upside down, calm and soothing like sleeping bats. They stand back a bit from the stump and the axe, and you lift it high above your head, now with both hands, and swung it hard, the blade sharp, maintained, separating the bird in two. But while the head lolled, the body ran. And how did it know to stand, to race? And why in a circle? Why not in a straight line, past the fence, through the wire, and out of this world?
What do we
Wow.
love?
Everything.
Everything. And I have one of these stories. It's so funny. We both have a chicken butchering story. Okay, what else do we love? There's some very specific, really nice moves in this.
I love the opening image. It's just like I can see you seeing those two guys. I love that opening image.
I can see those chickens hanging just
Hmm.
like bats. That was good. Mm.
And I'm not 100% sure I know the metaphor yet, but I get it. Like they're being treated a certain way, which makes them calm. And then when they get separated, they run. And this is all true, but there's always a bigger metaphor at play with the way that it's true that when you chop a chicken's head off, they run every time. And
Wow.
so, yeah. And so, yeah. Though the ones we had, I think, because the ground was sloped, so they were like, whoa, and then they tumbled down into a ravine. In my story, all to say though, there's a bigger metaphor about when we're being soothed, when we're being hung upside down, when we're being forced to behave a certain way, and then our heads are going to get chopped off. And then what good will the running do after that? Is what I feel like is happening, Erica. And I could be wrong, but that's where I would head in my mind with your story. Am I on track? Yes. Anything else anybody wants to add? Did I spell axe wrong? I never know if it's AX or AXE with the weapon.
AXE.
Okay, thank you. I will keep that in mind for my future editing efforts.
So why is it ox OXE? I don't get that.
But there is an
Because
AX that is correct. I know that because I actually had somebody's book in the AX. I mean, I just know that when I looked it up, there are both, but I think maybe one's British and one's English. That's the most common reason that this stuff happens. But I would usually throw an E onto British or
Well,
Canadian.
we know who to
Sorry.
ask about that in the next class. How do you
Oh, right.
spell axe? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's
All
the
right, Joy,
actual
are you
art.
ready?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. I did not do it with the endless sentence or whatever. And this extended metaphor thing like screws with my brain.
Did you
But
write something?
I did. I did
Yes.
it as an imitation, but not really an imitation. It was an inspiration from Lori's Seven Pieces of You. But it's
Oh,
not
very
really
nice.
like that, but it's just weird as all get out. But
All
anyway,
right. Let's hear
okay. Because I'm just weird. He needs to leave. He sweats profusely against my rubber lining, removing paws he dries soaked palms along my faux brown fur, which hugs his hips. His underarms and nether regions reek from unknown hours spent squatting behind Grandma's couch in rippling heat. He readjusts my headpiece over crusty neck rolls. The girl, donned in a cherry red hooded cape, hums as she skips through the woods toward her grandma's house. Her melodic voice floats through the air, and the man inside me strains to hear, moving to see through holes above my rubber fangs, as fast breath fills the narrow space within my snout.
Oh, wow. What do we love? Everything. I'm still typing. Snout.
And I'm still muted. will you send that to me yours so I can post them? You will do that, won't you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm so sorry you're having trouble posting in Discord. Discord's imperfect, but it's useful. Um, wow, I am terrified. Am I supposed to be? Because I am.
Yeah, I'm terrified of myself.
Okay, good, good. Only I get to go home and you have to live with you for the rest of your life, but
I
good.
know.
What are some things that are particularly striking for us that stand out as readers that we experience and enjoy?
I love the way it to me it ends like it looks like a mask. It's like I see this mask. Um, I guess you do have a mask in it. Yeah, I love that turning into this like it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like you're going from the outside and then looking out again through the mask. I
And
don't know
it,
if that makes any sense.
yeah, and it does feel like there's an extended metaphor about Little Red Riding Hood going on in here, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I felt for sure. I'm just trying to figure out was the mask real or not.
It's
Does that
supposed
make
to be
Yeah.
something. I don't know if I should give it away. I mean, unless you read it and figure it out.
Well, let's post it and then we'll see.
Post it and let us play with it because I'm under the impression, yeah,
It's very twisted.
Oh,
it
good.
Yeah.
feels really twisted, but I would
Yeah.
need some time with the words to really get it.
It's not
Yeah.
like I just, I get these weird ideas there. It's Lori's fault.
Well,
She
yeah.
puts this
Oh,
stuff on there and then I gotta blame somebody because I'm not gonna blame myself anyway.
And this
All right.
the headpiece over crusty neck rolls, that just does so much heavy lifting. That is such a good line. I just wanted to
Yeah.
point that one out for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Okay, so the people that haven't read so far are Elizabeth, Lynn, and Life.
Lynn.
All right.
Best thing I can say about this is I wrote something. Okay.
Woo!
All right. I wrote something. And we're squatting on a cactus. Okay. All right. After he squatted on a cactus, sleep fled with no clue why my eyelids snapped open to see the clock move from 1:37 to 1:48 a.m. My heartbeat nearly drowning out a yelp outside. My bare feet slapping the stairs before I realized I'd thrown off the warm covers, and the screen door announced my arrival in the yard as I spotted him, the forbidden boyfriend, bewailing his punctures until he spotted Betsy in my hand, unprepared to give this invader additional holes.
I think
So,
you're
like the
channeling me
boyfriend jumps
now.
out the window, lands on the cactus, right?
Oh,
That's what
I
it
don't
is.
think you had to explain that to us.
Okay.
What did we love?
That.
Everything.
It felt like there was no metaphor, there was no internal thoughts. I don't know.
I think there was some metaphor going on. I mean, Betsy willing to leave holes. That's inferring. That's not direct.
I
Yeah.
just loved the slapping feet. As soon as I heard
Yeah.
it,
Good line.
it grossed me out and delighted me.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for. We'll say that.
And that's the best thing about having a very physical sensory detail, using those sensory details to show us the sort of alert, what's the word, like dart that, this parent already knows what's going on without even knowing what's going on. Like the slapping stares are happening before the parent even knows that the covers are thrown back because they are aware and they've been on high alert even if they didn't know it. So those physicality things, there could be smell, there could be the taste of, anger or blood because they bit their tongue thudding down the stairs, all of it making it a little more violent. Yeah, it's good stuff. And then it had to be Arizona because where else is there going to be a cactus, right? Yeah.
Well, that's it. Gotta land on something, right? So,
Yeah.
who hasn't read yet?
We don't have Elizabeth and we don't have Life. Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Hey, so I'm really working on writing something like a narrative.
Good luck.
Yeah, right. I definitely need that. I'm trying.
Good for you.
Just
Good.
just watching another TV story. I've been watching them all day, every night, as I pray for the darkness to cover the day. And just out of the corner of my eye through the French door, I can see the water and the mud rushing, and across the blur, I see the plate she hurls across the room, hitting the window, which followed which is followed by the scream, "Just get out of here, Mom. We have to go now into the other room because, like, this plate is cracking and shattering on the floor. You need to realize we cannot stay here anymore. So please get up and follow me now." She pauses only for a second before she repeats the word loudly, even clearer. "Now, Mom, now. Take your blanket and move into the office because the storm is moving fast and you cannot escape this by watching a comedy on TV with Lucille Ball and Ricky Ricardo." And she hits her head in a sign of idiocy, and she is just showing me or making the point about what an idiot I'm being, locked in my denial about another natural disaster we all are living through.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What do we love? Everything and a narrative.
Yes. I think you pulled it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see, I don't know that everybody here knows what happens around your house in this kind of weather. So let's hear what people have to say about what they experienced in your piece.
Tornado
Hmm.
comes fast. You hear it. It's a train. You don't hear it till you hear it, and then it's almost too late. And there's
You
not
have
much you can
tornadoes?
do. Do we have tornadoes?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're in Tornado Alley.
Okay. I thought so,
Yeah,
but
whole towns have been taken
Right, and
out.
that's
Especially
exactly
last
what
year was
it
really
feels
bad.
like.
So,
yeah.
hmm
Interesting. Any
That was the
but
other?
first image I got
it
too.
felt like it was
Okay.
I felt like there was a metaphor there that she didn't want to face that.
Mhm.
She was trying. The Lucille Ball did it for me. It's that look back into the past, that pretend it's all funny, but it's just escapism in a way. And I think you nailed that for me, that she wasn't really, you know, checking to the real reality of what's happening outside.
Well, with darkness covering the day, that's exactly what it's
Mm-hmm.
like.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, that's brilliant.
Well, and a storm can obviously be a bigger metaphor also, right?
Right.
So we can have this literal thing happening that the narrative is following, which had a great plot line to it and built tension for us. And it can be an extended metaphor for a life, especially as you said, June, looking back to the past, right?
Yeah.
Other thoughts on it before I get Elizabeth to tell you what really is?
It's not a flood, is it?
Closer.
Flash flood?
Tell them
Okay.
your natural disaster,
Oh, is this
Elizabeth.
the landslide? You
Yeah.
said you had a landslide, right? Oh,
She had
Oh.
mudslides, horrible mudslides.
what?
And
Oh.
Oh,
oh, I mean, I
It's the Go ahead, Maxie.
no, you go. It's your house.
Um, yeah, I survived the Eaton fire in Los Angeles barely, and my after the fire, I live right on the mountain, and the mudslides. Actually, I was in class during the mudslides last year. The mudslides were horrendous, and I live right next to the watershed, so they were literally 10 or 12, 10 to 20 feet from my house. This mudslide was coming down.
holy.
Yeah. So then you really are like, your daughter only wanted you to move into a different room, like
Yeah.
go
Well, we
farther
couldn't
away.
leave.
Oh,
we
okay.
could not leave.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
leave when you, I mean, it's a flood and a mudslide. And
Yeah.
actually, she did make me stay in this room, and move into this room. She just kept saying, just move into this room,
Yeah.
and of course it made total sense, but I didn't really want to move into the room. I wanted to watch television.
Of
Watch
course.
a comedy.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love it, and I love especially and certainly you still have an entire novella in Flash or memoir in Flash or whatever to write about the year of loss that you experienced and trauma. So the bigger possibilities for that metaphorically are really exciting in there. Yeah, really good. Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
I've been taking notes, and it looks like Life, you are up.
This is incomplete. How about that?
Sure.
Meditation on meditation. You find your pillow and you silence your phone and you fill your glass with ice and water and you settle in, hands on the knees of your buttersoft yoga pants in that periwinkle blue you like, and you take a deep breath and you close your eyes and you breathe again and you wonder if you returned your library book and what your mom wanted when she called and when would it ever stop raining, and you bring yourself back to your breath, and you settle in and you think about that funny time your brother did the chicken dance and you wonder if your bedroom would look better in a sagey green and when will it ever stop raining. That's as far as I got. This is my meditation experience.
What
Hot
do we
flash
love?
All of
Everything.
that.
Oh my God.
As soon as you gave the title, I thought you are going to nail this, like you nailed last week's about the divorce.
Yeah.
That was so
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
Life, the type of therapy that I'm in, DBT, emphasizes mindfulness a lot. And I was super resistant to it at first because my only understanding of mindfulness was meditation. And that is my brain in meditation and exactly why it doesn't work for me. So I feel so seen right now.
Oh, good.
Does anybody not see scene? Like, does anybody peacefully meditate? 'Cause, I mean, yeah, it's like, and I wonder if they're going to have another season of, right? And I'm in a TV show. Yeah, that's incredible. I
Did I
love
leave? Did I leave the oven on? I mean, it's always
exactly,
something.
exactly, right? But I love how you kind of like we're believing you for just a second. Hands on the knees of your butter soft yoga pants and the periwinkle blue you love. Like you lure us in. We're like, okay, we're meditating. And then it's like, did you return your library book? What did your mom want? And we're like, bingo. Because I don't trust anybody who says they can successfully meditate. It can't be true.
And the
Maybe,
It
chicken
felt
dance. It's like,
yeah, that,
I
it
maybe
also
felt like
like,
goats.
peaceful,
Goat
like not like
yoga.
you were it felt like not like you were trying to meditate, like you had this imposter syndrome, but that like you were using meditation as a place to think, but you had the outfit of a meditation expert. And I really liked that. I really liked the comfort that your characters seem to have in just thinking about all of these things when maybe you're not supposed to. It's like a little secret.
Oh, I
That is a
love
yeah,
that.
generous interpretation.
Yeah, I feel the
I
same way.
I know it's incomplete and it only had, I mean, if it were a poem, two stanzas, but at the bottom of each stanza is, and when will it stop raining? So I like that you have that refrain, and I wonder if you'll keep that repetition in there because I really like it. And also, there's something about the fact that what actually draws you back is nature.
Oh,
And while it's
interesting.
frustrating to have it raining all the time, it is nature that brings you back, maybe not your breath.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, another generous interpretation.
Very observant. And if you were writing it in a prose form, that repetition of when will it stop raining, when we find it in a breathless one, it's super fun because it grounds us each time. Like we've been galloping along and then we land on the refrain, and it's a really great way to keep us drawn into your writing. So I hope you would keep going because I want to know what else this person thinks. Right? I mean, because
Um,
I do feel seen. Somebody else was saying something.
Yeah, I think so too.
no, okay. What I saw in this piece was I it was really great. And what I actually saw was a whole room full of women meditating and with these words, these thoughts going around, it's just like, it was so classic, it really, really captured, um, and the way you described the clothing, because women always, go out and fight, they got to buy their yoga outfits and they, match all the colors. And it was like, it was really, really good that way.
It could be
Capture
like
the,
a meditation word cloud. You're in a meditation class and it's the word cloud of what everybody's actually thinking. That'd be
yeah,
kind of cool. Yeah.
New Yorker cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Again, y'all don't get to criticize your own work because you're doing amazing things. I think it's really fun. Well, that was a great start. I feel like we should move on to the next reading. And she's shock factor is Katie's fun thing. So, and just let's go ahead and go, aha, and then we'll write again. Who wants to read Shell by Katie Coleman? And this is, by the way, I just want to say there is a Katie Coleman literally in the Flash world who is not this Katie Coleman, who almost took our class. Danny's going to read for us, but I just want to say, I'd like keep your eyes peeled. There's a Katie Coleman with dark hair, and this Katie Coleman has kind of like dark blonde hair. And she's written this Flash and Smoke Long Quarterly, but I haven't seen my Katie Coleman that I know from school do any other Flash writing. So when you come across Katie Coleman, it's not going to be her. Okay, Danny.
Okay. Shell. And you said this is supposed to actually be after the pregnancy test?
Oh, oh yeah. Sorry, I fixed it on mine, so I'm like, what are you
Oh,
talking about?
yeah.
Yes,
After the
it
pregnancy
is.
test came back positive, my husband went to work and I called Professor Mark. Meet me at Legals, I texted. Buck a shot oysters at lunchtime. Two pink lines were as good as good an excuse as any for a personal day. After lunch, we went to his loft in the Seaport district where I watched the whales breaching in the harbor while he went down on me. Fabulous. Tiny black specks surfacing, my body giving me something that wasn't just for me. Professor Mark was my advisor in college, a kind of protege because he was the first guy in academia to acknowledge toxic masculinity. When I asked him about it, he just shrugged and said, "It is what it is." My first advisor dropped me after an extremely well argued essay I submitted on Kate Chopin. A girl is a person until she is a woman, I wrote, and to be a mother is a kind of self erasure. In the margins, the first advisor inked and read, "Well, maybe you shouldn't be one." I never saw her again. It was a cranky time for me. The subtle misogyny of John Mayer's daughters plagued the airwaves. Girls were turning up unconscious in front of frat houses. The Catholics had a protest on the quad with blown up posters of tiny fetuses. Times passed, but I still believe what I wrote. America hates women. I liked Professor Mark because he didn't take points off for point of view, and also because his dick smelled like birch water and aloe vera. Why was this the perfect one
Wow.
for me to read?
Uh,
After the test came back positive, my husband emptied the liquor cabinet. I wouldn't miss the vodka or the whiskey or even the top shelf Bahamian rum, but the gin and Campari broke my heart. Splash them together, swirl a little sweet vermouth on top, a dash of bitters, a maraschino cherry, my nightly routine down the drain. I wouldn't watch while he swirled out my cigarettes. He knew all the hiding places. These savory cancer sticks, the cure all for every anxiety, their harm is also a kind of freedom, at least an autonomy. While he raided the fridge for soft cheeses and smoked salmon, I examined my breasts. They already felt heavy. I wonder if I should tape them, I said, like when I was a teenager. If I could just keep them tight and close to me, could they still be mine? And the night after the test came back positive, we lay on the couch and watched the local news. Emergencies seemed somehow more acute. My husband cracked a beer. Police and firefighters responded to an incident by the Radcliffe Quadrangle in which a woman was found with a gunshot wound to the head. According to the Cambridge police, the initial investigation determined this not to be a criminal matter. It was a violent hush of an evening. The woman on the TV had flat ironed hair and pink lipstick. When she moved her mouth, I thought of the crustaceans pushing out of their shells. I thought of the oysters I had pried open earlier in the day, the tiny spoon I had used to scrape their bodies away at the hinge. Whatever was inside of me would need to come out either way.
Oh my
All
God.
right.
Damn.
She is unflinching. And I'm happy to report not only the mother of two nice little boys, but suddenly now a couple more nice little twin boys. So at least she had boys, because when we see her anxiety about women, right? Okay. Any thoughts on what we have going on here? Do you see a nice extended metaphor happening?
I'm struggling.
Well, there's a reason I put oysters up in our slide, right? Because I was inspired by Katie's piece. I picked the reading before I went and worked on the slides. So, um, and we all know, like, if Professor Mark goes down on her and oysters and female body parts, and right, so she's working with what it means to be a woman in here, and especially what it means to be a mother. Um, and it's a theme for her for sure. I mean, she she writes unflinchingly about what it means to be a woman. What like um pushes you out of this? Like, does her unconventional way of writing women put you off?
Mm-mm. Not
No.
really.
She, I feel a lot of um, unresolved anger in this piece. Um,
Yes.
I mean, it makes me extremely uncomfortable, you know.
Yes. Nice.
Um, I think it wants to do that probably, and she's very strident, and
Yes.
she has poked me now.
Nice.
You know, it's like,
Nice. I'm gonna write her a note and tell her that she poked you. I mean, I won't name you, but
okay,
because that would make her so happy. She is strident. She does have a lot of unresolved anger, and she would love it if you felt poked by this work. So just wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's write, because we have to be on time today, whether I like it or not. So an extended metaphor usually requires some prior thought. So if you were ahead, you could think about Kitty's pregnancy story, but if you're just reading it for the first time, you can just work with a big event, like, so pregnancy, of course, is a big event, or anything, and just write what it's like or similar to, and possibly a metaphor will emerge, or you might just find yourself making some comparisons that are useful. I'm just getting us thinking towards the direction of metaphor if you haven't had time to plan ahead for this one. Again, like, a controlling metaphor really takes revision and making sure that every sentence and every choice you're making is serving the metaphor and the bigger idea. So we're just playing with getting started on it tonight. If you want to work with random titles, I've got When Nova the Nigerian Dwarf Goat Had Six Babies, Leaving the Real World Behind, or The Day Chandra Lost Her Phone. So 6 minutes, everybody, and I wish you so much good luck. You have about a minute left. Okay, everybody, if you can do your best to start wrapping things up, we can get ready for a speed round. How did the feminine rage do for giving you inspiration? That's some nodding.
Mine went nowhere, so I'm going to pass this round.
Okay, that makes me sad. I wanted to laugh. And then you all laugh at me. That's great. So we
One of
made
these
some.
days, she's going to make us cry. And
She
it'll be
does.
brutal.
She does every now and then.
It's
And
going to
it's
be brutal.
unexpected. Yeah,
Brutal. Mm-hmm.
that's okay though. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry you didn't get anything, Lori. But since you spoke up, would you pick somebody to go?
Jen.
Okay.
Okay.
Jen.
She shouldn't have stopped at the old woman's house. Here was someone who had more junk in their driveway than Bria had ever owned in her entire lifetime. Undoubtedly, she had more inside. Bria couldn't fathom owning so much stuff that they had to actually get rid of some of it. She wondered why. Did the woman need money? Was she redecorating? Was she tired of the old things in her life? Or was she looking to rid herself of memories too? The tables made a house without walls, an ancient stand mixer, ceramic mixing bowls, a pile of tea towels, surrounded by dented baking pans and a stack of cookbooks. Walking past the kitchen, she saw the bathroom, porcelain soap dish and matching toothbrush stand, white with yellow and pink roses, two sets of pink towels, a lacy shower curtain, pristine. Bria bent to study the curtain. The seams told the story, handmade, must have taken a great deal of time. Was it a gift or did she make it for herself? Past the bathroom was the bedroom, two folding chairs and a clothes rack, assorted skirts, plain blouses, cardigans, sweaters, and dull blazers. If the woman had worked, no one noticed her at the office. Comforter, blankets, decorative pillows, all matching. A small brass-footed tray, a gilded hand mirror, a stand-up folding picture frame, empty. What happened to the loved ones she kept upon her dresser? Her children, her parents, her husband? Or had she always been alone, like Bria? The dining room offered a set of fancy china, crystal glasses, napkin rings, and matching placemats atop a dining room table with 6 chairs. Bria could almost see the turkey and all the fixings spread out in a ghostly Thanksgiving display. Had her children sat in those chairs on Sunday afternoon? Where were they now? She thought it was beautiful, but Bria had no room for such a big table and she only needed 1 chair. She paused in the living room. The vase was made in China, not long enough ago to be worth anything. It was pretty though, creamy white, crazy cracked, with random cherry blossoms scattered around its plump base. A few tendrils of green and jagged brown curved up and around its narrow neck. She paid $2 and felt it was a bargain. It would add color in her otherwise colorless world. At home, she placed it atop her mantel, next to the brass candlesticks discovered at the Goodwill. Stepping back, Bria studied the room, pleased how the vase was a bright spot in her dull universe. Am I her?
Oh,
Bam! That one came.
damn. Was not quite expecting that ending, and I feel like I should have been. What do we love?
That's a good
Everything.
one.
We are not talking because it's speed round. Come on, Max.
Go.
Who's after you?
Who's next? Who wants to go?
I'll go. I'll go.
Go.
Thanks,
Go, Lynn.
Elizabeth. And then Lynn wants to go after Elizabeth.
Okay. When leaving the real world behind, was that one of the prompts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. As I walk towards the barn, his hand reaches out and pulls me roughly aside. Watch where you're going. You need to be more careful and stay out of there. Don't walk through that corridor. You cannot, under any circumstances, violate the privacy of another owner's barn, and please be quiet as well, he said, as he led me through the eaves and made me sit in the office, full of leather straps and harnesses, and lists of horses and their owners. Where's the next page? Okay. These are expensive animals, and don't put your fingers out. They will be bitten off. I sat in the doorway as today's stallion became tomorrow's gelding. And another gentleman was born and bred in silence. Take my hand, darling. Let's go out to the box and see what happens, but don't tell the client what you are thinking right now. Just promise me that, okay? Okay, dear. He held out his arm.
Oh, what do we love?
Mm.
Everything. Italians turning into geldings.
Yeah, I'm really, wow.
Put it up. We got to talk about it.
Oh, God, oh, man.
And Lynn, you wanted to go after Elizabeth?
Yeah, I probably picked the
Okay.
wrong topic, so I hope I get through it.
Okay.
After the diagnosis, ingredient-filled pages floated like wheat flour from a sifter, never settling. After the diagnosis, work was whisked out of the bowl. Normal life became an unrecognizable smoothie, blue and frozen. Doctors reviewed results with the impartiality of disappointed restaurant critics. The end result is souffle after the door slammed.
Oh, what do we love? Everything. It's so hard to hear those. Please put that one up for sure because I want to say more about it. Okay. Thank you. Makes me sad. All right. Who wants to go after Lynn?
I'll go.
Thanks, Erica.
5-alarm fire. The barn burned down 3 months before I asked for a divorce. I don't know how it started, but I can speculate. Unintended electrical or spontaneous combustion due to microbial activity coupled with poor ventilation. The crazy thing, I didn't even notice the blaze consuming this structure because I had the blinds down. It was the neighbor who called and filled me in. You've got a major disaster. I think my ex and I pondered garden hoses for a minute. I called the fire department. Certainly the professionals could save what was unsavable. When I opened the door to my house and stepped toward the barn, only the heat and the roar. Incomplete sentence. There was really nothing I could do but watch it burn.
Wow. Nice.
Oh my gosh. Please put these up. You're not giving us a chance to talk about it. And I have so much to say.
God,
bravo. What do we love? Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Life.
You knew that was coming.
Clear.
Come in.
Clear metaphor.
Okay. There were the vows where she said, I do, and he said, I do. There was the honeymoon where he said, I love you, and she said, I love you too. There was the new house where she said, this is great, and he said, I can't wait to start building a deck. There was the baby where he said, it's better if you get up because I have to work in the morning, and she didn't say much because she was too tired. There was the second baby where he said, I was reading on this blog that it's better if you use a medical grade pump because it's better for production, and she just smiled. There was the question of returning to work, and she said, I'm ready. And he said, I think it makes more financial sense to have one of us stay home, and my job pays better. There was the bigger house where she said, so much to clean. And he said, the price per square foot is incredible, and these mortgage rates are fantastic, and my friend Brad from the fraternity just started as a realtor, so we should give him a call. There was the dog And he said, I did a little research, and this is the best breed for families, the kind that doesn't shed, and it's not going to be that much work. There were the vacations he chose, and the work days he talked about, and the cars and the boats and diatribes that wove in and out of their lives, and she settled in, calm, incomplete.
Oh,
Oh, what do we love?
everything.
I'll help you hide the body. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you.
Okay.
My positive end was because it wasn't calm and complete or calm incomplete.
Incomplete.
That's what I
Incomplete.
wrote because that's what I thought made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, put it up, please, please, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that was really great. We have Joy, Danny, Lise left. Lise's
I
hand is
can
up.
go.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Calvin makes fun of my special interests. I mean, let's face it, a lot of people do. So when I started on about balconies again, he made that face I'm used to, even though we were eating brunch on the 25th floor patio of a hotel, an irony not lost on me. But I pressed on. Balconies, I argued, were an enigma, not just an architectural construct, though they were certainly first invented in Persia and Egypt as a sort of novelty, a place like a pulpit, a ceremonial space. And let's face it, Romeo and Juliet wouldn't exist without one. And there are many manifestos that would lose their fist punching power if they weren't delivered from the lofty authority of a projected space outside of an apartment building, a hotel, a city hall. Where would we have banged our pots and pans during the lockdown? Which, by the way, is how I met my neighbors, if by met you mean our now years long relationship of waving to each other, though we've never spoken when we meet in the street. And after 10 long days of having said COVID and feeling trapped in my apartment, I suddenly discovered that I had this other space outside where I could shiver in July under a blanket and feel comforted by the sun and my book and my next door 87-year-old best friend Gordon yelling to me something about Tylenol PM. Balconies, I asserted to Calvin, were vital. They are the place you eat cheese. They are the place you write your first novel or what you hope will be your first novel. They are the place you jump from. And sailing through the air, you pass other balconies, other fist shaking tyrants, other shivering tenants, and you wave maybe as you go by. You feel the air rushing beneath you. You admire the rows and rows of railings. It's the last thing you see.
Oh my God. What do we love?
Dang.
Everything.
Every time I see a balcony, I'm gonna think of you, and it's just gonna be
I
weird.
know. And I had a balcony when I lived in Toronto. This is going to be the last story in your
Oh,
novella. Like this brings it all home and waving at the
Yes.
people.
funny.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Or
Funny.
it opens it up. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, Lisa, amazing.
Yeah.
We have Joy, Danny, and you release. So Joy and Danny.
Go.
Okay, Joy's unmuted. I'm picking her.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's fine. The oversized fat manila envelope lies torn through the middle, its inappropriate contents, dozens of cards and letters between my boyfriend and his soon-to-be ex-wife, going back 7 years, spill onto my kitchen table, a reminder of who I am and the split I've created. I've begun communicating sporadically with Joseph on a Friday morning in June. I climb into his substantial truck, my body small inside the cab. He presents me with a box of incongruent celebratory truffles. Bloated clouds interrupt a baby blue sky as we drive to the university. After my morning class, we have lunch near Mission Inn, where I provide additional nourishment because it's still possible, followed by a walk to the clinic. Footfalls align with my heartbeat in fertile soil as I breathe in lush plants that grow. In the waiting room, I stare at my shoes. I wonder how many women tread across the well-worn black, blue, and gray-striped commercial gray carpet, who they were and who they are now. When my name is called, I follow the shadows of a woman I won't remember. The only sound is the swishing of her scrubs. Antiseptic and bleach follow in her wake, a conspicuous breeze carrying a tail behind a kite. I'm a child here, not a grown woman. I want to be cradled. Joseph picks me up after the procedure, and a frappuccino waits in the cup holder, the top layer of minuscule blended ice unbroken. I stare blankly through the windshield at the mountains. Greenery births in some places, otherwise barren brown remains. Both are familiar and unknown to me.
Ooh.
Wow. Oh my goodness. What do we love?
Mhm. Everything.
Mm.
Everything. Wow. Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Put it up there, please. I have so much to say.
God,
Speed
this is
round
gonna be a good week.
sucks. It is going to be a good week for sure.
Class, man.
Danny, can you bring us home?
I can try.
Good luck.
I took one
Okay.
of your titles again, and I did the
Oh,
thing
good.
where the title is part of the story.
Okay.
When Nova the Nigerian dwarf goat had 6 babies, everyone looked at me in almost exactly the same way that my Aunt Rhonda looks at me every time we get together for the wedding of yet another one of her crotch goblins to some empty-headed frat boy with a trust fund. It was like a game to her, like the litmus test for potential suitors was how closely they could be compared to a bowl of oatmeal. Oh, fuck, oats. Right, we were talking about Nova. Even if the expression looked the same, the intention behind them was completely different. Whenever Aunt Rhonda gave me that look, it was because she inherently believed I would know exactly how to be a good mother, simply because I was born with a vagina, and therefore it was simply my duty to produce offspring, no matter what kind of dumpster fire of a world I was choosing to raise them in. However, when the farmers looked at me for my expertise, it was because I was a veterinarian, and one of the few in the country dual board certified in animal welfare and shelter medicine. It had nothing to do with the fact that I was a woman, and everything to do with the fact that I was the most educated person in the room when it came to keeping these babies alive, and because I would know the safest shelter for them to take these babies to. Maybe Aunt Rhonda could take a lesson from these farmers and actually giving a shit about the babies once they're outside the womb.
Oh,
Wow.
ah, what do we love?
All that.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
You all do not
Woo!
fail, people. That was
You
an
are on
incredible night.
fire.
Yes, and pretty please, with cream and sugar on it, put these up in Discord so that we can talk about them with each other. I love the conversations over there. And hopefully Ruth and Melissa and Merrick and Allison will be able to add to that conversation too after they watch the recording. Next week is ekphrastic, so
Fantastic.
please, please, please. I put a couple of images up. Ruth has already emailed a couple of images. Email me in images, and I'll try to get them up by Sunday so that you have a lot of time to play around in your mind with what happens. Lisa, if you do not send us a balcony, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I want somebody else to find a balcony so Lisa's a different one to write about. Because I don't imagine you're going to write about your own photos, though you could, of course, of course.
Oh, okay.
Jen, you have
No,
a
I was just going to
question.
say, I'm going to send you a couple, but you pick, I mean, you just pick the ones. I don't
I
want to,
just no, I just put a bunch up. I mean, I just
okay.
want y'all to have a bunch to choose from, right?
Okay.
Whatever inspires you.
Okay. Cool.
Thursdays are my favorites. You are amazing. Okay, so we'll see you next week, and we're going to write to images, and we're going to do all these techniques we've been learning all along, and aphora or breathless sentences or hermit crab or whatever happens to you, and we're going to be brilliant.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye,
See
y'all.
you next week.
Good night.
Bye.
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 Bye.